All right, we are back. Episode 4, Alien Destroyer of Worlds. As always, this game has been organized through Gauntlet RPG. It's a group of people who enjoy various RPG games, role-playing games, of indie to sort of, the trad indie ones like Alien, a lot of narrative style games. Gauntlet RPG does also have a publishing wing. They put out Brindlewood Bay, the Trophy RPG. They've got a forum online, and there's a Patreon where you can get priority access to playing these games. Though all of these games are free for anyone to play, Patreon just gets you a little bit faster into some of these games because they do fill up quickly. We discussed offline before our video some safety tools. We are using safety tools. So for anyone listening or watching, just know that we have all consented to body horror and descriptions of gore. It is Alien, it's sci-fi action horror. So, use your discretion about whether or not you are comfortable with the content. All right, let's go around and give us your name and pronouns and tell us something quick about your character and where we left off from your perspective. Jason, can we start with you, please?
Yeah, I'm Jason. I use he, him pronouns. I'm playing Captain Silva, who uses she, her. Captain Silva is leading this squad, and I think she feels that we're cornered, that finding out that Weyland-Yutani's involved in what's going on, and now finding out that the Marines, there's some sort of weird science going on back in the Camp Nebraska, and then there's monsters, and now we're being invaded. So it's looking pretty grim, and she's having trouble finding any possible route through this. So she's concerned.
All right, and let's move on to Daniel, please.
Hey, I'm Daniel. I use he, him, they, them pronouns. I'm playing Warrant Officer Chaplin, who uses they, them pronouns. Chaplin is a proud synthetic. He is sort of a support character for the unit, specializing in specializing in failing at technical roles and medical stuff primarily. They are really good friends with Mason, who you'll hear about momentarily. I think that when we last left off, there was some indication that the moon that we're on is now completely under siege. So that has been an interesting surprise and development, and I'm looking forward to seeing where that goes. I don't know if there's much else to tell about Chaplin right now. So I guess that's me.
Excellent. All right, and next up is Mark.
Hi, I'm Mark. I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing Dante, another colonial Marine, and Dante uses she, her pronouns. The thing to remember about Dante is she is a short timer. So she is on her way out, and in fact, she was not even supposed to be here today. She unfortunately got stuck on this planet and or this moon, and now has to get through this and a lot of bad aliens in order to get out of the core. But she's got her paperwork, just needs a signature.
All right, and next up is Matthew.
Excuse me. Hi, I'm Matthew. I use he, him pronouns. Today I'll be playing the Gunnery Sergeant Mason, a member of the rifle team, along with Chaplin. She uses she, her pronouns, and she's currently in this mess with the rest of the gang. But this isn't her first time seeing these monstrosities, and now she's like any reasonable Marine when facing a clearly unfamiliar and overwhelming threat, is really concerned over whether anyone's going to make it out alive.
All right. So when we last left off, the Marines had stormed this insurgent compound where they knew two of the AWOL soldiers to be held. They fought their way in and then encountered Wojcik in the midst of a transformation into this new, strange, horrifying hybrid of an alien and a human, and managed to take it down, though not before it had bitten and presumably infected Iona. They then found Lieutenant Wright handcuffed to a radiator in that compound as well. And in the midst of freeing Wright, starting to get some awareness of the whole situation, there were these eruptions of the atmosphere as dropships all over the place started entering. And so we come back just a few moments after that. Out of the window, you can see UPP ships running bombing raids all throughout the colony. Specifically, you can see them flying over Fort Nebraska. You hear heavy chungs as the railguns on the outer perimeter of Fort Nebraska fire at these ships, taking some of them down. Some of them manage to slip by as they drop their payloads onto the forts. And you can hear just explosions coming throughout the colony as bursts of flames from the bomb impacts, but also the oil pipes leading all through the colony are erupting. And your radios crackle to life. You hear Hatfield on the other side. Charlie team, we are under heavy fire. Come in, Charlie team.
Silva.
Charlie
Over.
team, I need you to get your asses back to Fort Nebraska. We've got UPP all over the damn place. I'm scuttling this mission. Take what you can, get back here. We are mounting a last defense.
Copy. Got that. We're on our way. Do we still have possibility for dust off, or is our Cheyenne, lost?
Charlie team, I can't make any guarantees. I'll see what I can get you. The radio goes silent as a heavy explosion ripples out from the fort. Chaplain, your vision goes black. You all see Chaplain go limp and fall to the floor. I'd like for you all to go ahead and take a stress level.
Okay. Oh shit, what's that? Do any of us have any contact skills? I forget. Other than Chapman.
I was just gonna say.
Zhimyevsky
Not
does not.
Does Hammer? Iona?
Ooh, that was close, Dante. That was a close one.
I'll try to check them out. At least I have some wits. At least I'm probably the best of the bunch of us.
I suspect you are. Iona does not, and neither does Hammer.
Okay. So yeah, I'll start seeing what I can do, and I'll say Mason. Z drag Iona into the room where Wright is, and Mason, keep an eye on them. Hammer, why don't you get up on the roof and keep an eye out for monsters or communists? And Dante, why don't you try to start going through this place, see if we could find some transportation, some communications gear, maybe some UPP uniforms, anything that'll help us out.
Hammer responds and says, "We're safety off, right?"
Damn right.
Says, "All right." Hammer start heading back up the ladder to the top. And so it sounds like you're going to make a Comtech roll to see what's going on with Chaplin. Is that right?
Sure. No modifier.
No, I don't think so.
Let's see. I got 2 successes.
All right, pretty good. What's it look like? What I'll let you paint the picture. What's it look like as you check out the synthetic?
I'm trying to think of alien lore if they have like access ports or anything. I don't think they do though. I guess I just kind of check his eyes and I don't know, maybe like pull out my knife and kind of like cut like around, like a little cut on his scalp to see maybe there's a master switch or something. Something along those lines.
Yeah,
I'm sure exactly.
I like
Go ahead.
I like the eye part. I think as you go to check the eyes, you can see, right, like in the recessed back portions of the eyes, you can see like text scrolling binary, right? Like moving along the back of the eyes, as clearly Chaplin is still, there's like some function still happening, right? There's computations happening. And so you actually have 2 successes. So you do have a stunt. What are the stunts on Comtech?
Comtech, skills and stunts, Comtech. How about you get new or unexpected information? GM's choice.
Let's see.
I mean, I'm hypothesizing that losing our connection to Camp Nebraska has like, he's lost, maybe there was some sort of carrier beam or something, or some sort of electronic connection to the camp. So if that helps.
I think that in itself is the new information, right? So normally there should not be any sort of active data link between a synthetic and somewhere else, right?
Right.
But I think that's what you piece together. You realize that there was an active link going on, and as you're sitting there, checking the eyes, Chaplin, your vision starts coming back to you. And I'm gonna go ahead and give you your Act 2 agenda and let you bring that out. Let's see, I just have to find it now. Where did I put those? Appendices, agendas, there we go. All right, put this in your journal. Okay, you should now have your Act 2 agenda visible to you. I'll riff for a moment while you read that over. So yeah, you're investigating. You're looking at Chaplin. You see the binary scrolling at the back of the eyes, and then you see like a pupil, the pupil like resharpen and focus in on you, and the eye blinks.
Okay. Maybe this is reaching, but would it be possible to like turn off his receiver, kind of like, so that he couldn't be linked with again from outside? Or maybe that's a matter of asking Daniel to do that himself.
I think that's the case. Yeah, I think this is a question to ask the Chaplain.
Soldier, you with us? to
So,
Chaplin.
Yeah, so Chaplin looks around, kind of taking everything in, kind of like looks at every member of the team separately for a moment, like assessing them. Particularly kind of stops at Mason and then looks back up and says, yes, sir, I'm here now. What's going on? How can I be of assistance?
You crashed.
Mason helps Chaplin up.
Okay. They look a little unsteady for a second, but then seem normal, and they sort of look around a little dazed, and like they're trying to sort of collect all of the information possible, and then they kind of like settle looking at Iona. And unless anyone is going to stop them, they're gonna head over to Iona immediately and start or continue doing the medical stuff they were going to do before. Just, see if we can figure out what's ailing her.
I'll say Mason.
With like a flap of skin or whatever you cut,
Yeah,
like just like
right.
sort of dangling.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I follow after Chaplin. Sorry, Captain Silva. Did you have a?
Yeah, I was gonna say Mason. They're your friend. See if you can figure out what's going on with Chaplin. I'm gonna help Dante. And if Iona or Wright start to change or something comes out of their body, you know what to do. Burn the shit out of it. Don't wait. Don't hesitate. So John, I unless it's maybe it's not clear. So I've got like I imagine we got Wright and Iona kind of like laying down in this little room. What's it called? A guest bedroom.
Yep.
And then it sounds like Chaplin or Mason will be in there. And then I'm gonna go catch up with Dante.
Okay. So yeah, Chaplin and Mason, you Silver leaves to go help Dante with the search of the rest of the compound, and Iona is clearly distraught. Iona is pale and clammy, sweating, and is starting to actually cry and say, "Am I going to become? Am I going to become one of those things?" And he turns and looks at Wright and says, What's going to happen to me? What, I mean, you didn't change. But what's going to happen? Chaplin, tell me what's going to happen.
Don't worry, buddy. You're going to be all right. Everything's going to be fine.
It's easy for you to say, man. You're not even real.
Mason goes up to Iona.
That was unkind.
Yeah, and tries to, for lack of a better set of words, shake the shit out of them to help them regain their composure.
Okay, I don't think that's a role. This isn't like a panic where you need to do the command check. And so so you walk up and you shake Iona.
Yeah. By the way, I think I have stress level 7, so it's not like I'm in great shape.
Yeah, and Iona being, like this certainly isn't going to help your stress, right? So Iona just says, "Okay, it's fine, right?" We're Hatfield said we get back to base. They've got med pods. They'll take a look at me. They'll figure it out. Okay. We just got to get back to base. Okay, this is okay.
I just want to also say that as I approached the situation, like in the moments before it, Mason has her hands like sort of like to her hip, holding the incinerator unit, sort of like discreetly. But she also after this is resolved, she tries to talk to the chaplain as well.
Yeah, go ahead.
Which is, so he goes, hey, what was that about? Are you okay?
Let's talk after this. Please, if you can set aside a minute.
Okay.
So
like privately.
Is there anyone? Is there anyone else? Yeah, around?
I mean, I'm assuming Iona is right here.
Okay. All right.
So we'll
So-
jump. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. So Chaplin wants to check out Iona and is going to try to calm Iona down in the worst possible way by saying something like, I don't know, if it is a toxin, then probably panicking will make it spread faster. So you may want to keep calm. No pressure.
Chaplain, that's not helping. Yeah, I think we did a medical aid check at the end of last game. So
Did we? Okay, I can remember.
yeah, I don't think we need to do another one.
Okay.
But yeah, you can see that it's something that's there's puncture marks in their throat where they were bitten, and
Oh, that's right. And there was some kind of visible like infection or something
yeah,
like that.
that's black varicose veins
right.
snaking out from the puncture marks. Yeah.
Does it appear to continue to spread?
It does continue to be spreading, though not terribly fast at the moment.
Okay.
All right, so Dante and Silva. So Dante, I think you headed out a little bit first. So you first head down. There's a downstairs, right? Y'all are on this top floor of this compound, and so heading out into the stairway, you head down, and you can see this place has been torn apart. There's a blood trail leading all the way down the stairs that ends at a body with their arm dislocated backwards out of the shoulder, just motionless at the foot of the stairs. And you can see other insurgents that have been eviscerated, scattered around the room. Why don't you go ahead and make an observation roll as you search throughout the area, and while you're doing that, why don't you let's do a paint the scene question. What do you come across that unsettles you, that shows you the true horror of what happened here?
So I think that the problem is Dante comes across one of the insurgents who has kind of defensive wounds all over their face and chest, but both of their hands are missing from about here and here. It looks like they were just shorn off by a bite that took both hands at once. And that throws her off a little bit. Enough, actually, that she probably should make a panic roll, I guess. Okay.
Yes, it looks like that is the case.
So it's just one panic roll?
It's just one panic roll. And if you get, is it over 10 or is it 10? I was about to say.
If you get a 10 or above, it ruins your success.
Okay.
Oh. Well, there you go.
Let's see. What is the 10 panic results? That is freeze.
You're not the one who gets the -2 in your panic rolls, are you?
No, that's Mason.
Mason. Okay.
So you are frozen by fear or stress for 1 round, losing your next slow action. Your stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs in short range of you increases by 1. So no one's around you, thankfully. Good. So only yours is going to go up. But I think this is when Silva comes in, right? Silva, you head down the stairs and you see Dante frozen in the middle of this room.
Right. I think I'll start to be like, "Come on, soldier," and then I'll pause and say, "Look, just go over there, sit, relax, breathe."
Okay. So yeah, Dante will go over and pull out a plastic chair and kind of perch on the edge of that. And go ahead.
So this is your last job. So what are you planning to do when you get out of the Corps? Where are you going to go? What are you going to do with your time?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I had a plan. I can't remember the plan right now.
You can have some kids, get a farm,
Oh, no,
10
no
bar,
farm, no
nothing?
kids. Yeah, maybe help animals. Yeah, maybe I would help animals. That seems like something I'd like to try that. But just like normal animals.
Sure.
Yeah.
So keep your mind on that, okay?
Okay.
Silva, do you want to attempt an observation roll to search around?
Yeah, I'll leave Dante a cigarette and I'll look around. Let's see how I do. Observation. So I got a panic also. Let's see. And I got the same result.
Okay, so I'm going to give you the same paint the scene question. What do you come across that freezes you in your tracks?
Maybe, let me check our lines of veils real quick. Maybe there's like a insurgent that clearly was covering something, so I pull them away and I see that it's like a dog maybe. Or do we have harm to animals on our veils, lines of veils? No. So
No, I
maybe
think we're okay.
there's a dog under there that's also been killed that the person was trying to protect. And given what Dante was just saying, that hits me kind of hard.
I think too, even in this case, it's that the dog there has the chest bursted out like
Okay.
Reese did. And so just more weirdness abounding in this colony. Chaplain, back upstairs. You've got that recovered comm radio, right, that y'all took off of the insurgents way back when. And you hear it now buzz to life, and someone comes over and says, "We're almost there for the cargo pickup. Prepare yourself." Wright's eyes
Silva?
get wide. She says, "That's the guy. That's I heard him over the radio. That's the guy that he was coming to get me and Wojcik."
So yeah, so Chaplin will use the private comm channel and be like, "Hey Silva, it looks like we're gonna have incoming."
Marines or communists?
The latter.
Okay. Now I think when I'm going to look out the window out the front, and I think when we flew in, maybe I saw, it looks like there's some sort of vehicles out on the map. Maybe I saw those when we were coming in. Are those there? It look like little four-wheelers maybe?
Yeah, they're ATVs, little ATVs.
Okay. They big enough to like have one person drive and another person like sitting behind them or whatever?
Yeah, you can definitely put two people on there. It only shows 3. I was thinking there were 4, so let's go with 4.
Okay. I'll go to like just a one-on-one channel with Chaplin, and I'll say, do you see any way of saving Iona and Wright? They're infected, it looks like.
Yeah, so Chaplin will sort of step away a little bit and whisper into the comm unit or speak quietly into the comm unit. And they're like, I don't know. It's too early to say. There's nothing I can do for them with the equipment that we have here. Like they should be fine to travel if that's what you want, but
Right.
I can't make any guarantees.
So Chaplin, I don't know if you're compelled to tell the truth or not, but are you in connection with the company or with Colonel, is it Matthews they pointed out was behind the infection? I think Wright said something about that at the end of last episode.
Colonel Myers.
I am
Myers.
I am in contact with nobody except the squad.
Okay. Look, maybe it's just to ease my conscience, but I need to bounce this off somebody. I'm thinking maybe we leave them. If we go back to the fort, they're just going to be used as guinea pigs, but either by the company or by Myers, or they're going to, something horrible is going to happen on the way there. I don't see any way to save them. What do you think?
I am not equipped to make decisions like that.
I was afraid you'd say that.
My directives are to save their lives if at all possible, and that can only really be overridden by your orders. So while I would love to salve your conscience on this, there's nothing I can do.
I'll say, Dante, see if you can get those ATVs working, find the keys, and I'll go back upstairs to the room with everybody's there. And I'll say, over the open channel, Z and Hammer, come on down. We're leaving. Head out to the front door. There's some ATVs.
As you're heading out of the studio area where we're searching, Dante says, "Sir, with all due respect, I know I'm just a dumb grunt, but that space elevator is starting to look pretty nice."
Yeah, if the UPP hasn't blown it up, that seems like that would be a big target for them. But
So I'll say you would actually have noticed their bombing runs. You can see that they're clearly on the fort targeting the perimeter guns, the rail guns, and like the central area, but they're clearly going out of their way to avoid the space elevator. There were no bombing runs targeting it.
okay.
Yeah, they probably keep that intact.
You broke up for me, Daniel, but it sounds like
However,
you're saying
that
they'd
means
want to
if we
keep
try
it
to
intact.
They'd want to keep it intact, I imagine, but that does mean that they were probably trying to occupy it, which means that if we dally, we're going to meet heavy resistance.
Right. Yeah, I'll say, yeah, we're heading back to Camp Nebraska. We're going to try to use these ATVs out front. And is there any like heavy parkas or anything like insurgent, like civilian looking parkas that we could wear to like have some rough camouflage moving through this place, John?
I don't think so. Nothing that's going to fit over your armor, right? Because y'all are all in armored gear. If you wanted to take that off, then you could dress yourself, in just their outer wear. But I suspect you're going to be conspicuous enough on an ATV as it is. So,
is the preponderance of UPP dropships and stuff like such that we'll be spotted, or is it possible to sneak our way back to the camp?
So from what you've seen so far, there are clearly ships doing bombing runs, and then further towards the center where the fort is, you've seen some lowering, making landings, presumably to drop soldiers and potentially vehicles and such. It's not, I wouldn't say it's so heavy to the point where it's like you're going to walk outside and get bombed right away. But there's always that chance, right, of something flying over and seeing you.
Okay. And about how far away are we in miles or kilometers from the camp?
Let's see. Let's go back to our main map. So the compound was somewhere up here. I forget exactly where. It was somewhere in like this open clearing area. And Fort Nebraska is here in the center. Where's our distance key? Is it on here? There it is. By my rough guess, it is about maybe 5K.
Okay. So it's a good
just over 3 miles.
an hour or two of marching, or 10, 15 minutes on the ATVs probably. Okay. So maybe it's better if we go by foot, I guess. It sounds like if we don't sneak, we're gonna get spotted and blown up. I'll kind of share this over our channel, see if anybody has any input.
What does Chaplin think Iona's mobility is like?
Iona looks rough. Iona is clearly not a very mobile right now, and clearly whoever takes Iona is actually going to be, it's not dead weight, but you're taking them along, and that's going to slow you down because you're going to have to look after them too.
Okay. Chaplin will go. And what about Wright? Is Wright more mobile than Iona?
Wright actually looks pretty good.
Okay.
So if you check out Wright, Wright doesn't look clammy and sweaty and such, except from extreme stress.
Okay.
But actually looks pretty okay.
So Chaplin will just quietly relay that to Silva on a private channel that
Right.
It doesn't look like Iona will be able to make it on foot.
Sorry,
Okay.
not to sound like the confused class member, but like we have no indication that Iona. Sorry, we have no indication that Wright has been infected, or do we?
She said as much. I think she said that they had all been infected. That's why they fled from the Marines, from the base.
Right. And Wright is the one with the spot with the teeny tiny bites.
No, that's Iona. Wright,
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
think has any obvious signs of being
Correct.
injured, right?
Correct.
Right. Okay.
But the implication I think we've gotten so far is that there's some sort of, like I said, like weird science going on back. This Colonel, I'm going to get it wrong again, Myers. Colonel Myers was doing some sort of weird science back in the base. Do I know anything about this Myers? Do any of us know about Myers or what they might be doing?
You'd all know Colonel Myers was the commanding officer at Fort Nebraska. He is the head person there, so he runs the fort. In terms of his history with the Corps, I don't think there's anything too significant other than maybe some general knowledge about, hey, he's a colonel, he's been in his share of battles and such. You don't make it to colonel for nothing,
Sure.
right? But most prudent is that he was the commanding officer of Fort Nebraska.
Right.
And he's the one that ordered the end of anyone leaving, right? He's the one that imposed the lockdown on the colony.
Right. So I think maybe it's the moment where we all huddle together kind of out in the hallway outside this guest bedroom, the four of us. And like I'll lay it out and I'll, like obviously I've already shared this with Chaplin, but I'll say, Dante and Mason, I want your input on this, but this is not an easy decision at all, but I think we have to leave Iona and Wright here. Even if we take them back to the base and they make it, they're going to be taken by the Marines or by the company, and they're going to end up dissected. And they're a real danger to us if we take them with us. Feel free, what's your opinion?
I mean, Dante is muted.
Go on, Matthew.
What Mason's gonna say is that wait, you're saying we leave Iona behind? We leave one of our own?
They both are. I mean, Wright's one of my people in my regiment. It's not an easy decision, I know, but if you got a solution, let me hear it.
Mason, she's not going to be one of us here for long, man. Just check that out. See that? See, you seen what's happening, right, man? We got an opportunity to move and move fast. And you know what? Screw this place. this place is just totally fucked up. We need to get out of here as fast as we can.
At least give them a fighting chance to to escape, to fight whatever this is. I mean, if we allow Iona and Wright to be left behind, that doesn't make us much different from the company now, does it? It just, their lives are expendable, and this just becomes another disaster, another set of numbers that the company will write off.
I hear you, but the other thing we got to consider is Myers and the company want them. They want what's inside of them, whatever this infection is. They want it. They don't want it because they give a damn about these guys. They want it because it's valuable, and God knows it's obviously really dangerous. If we take them with us and we make it back to Camp Nebraska and they fall into the hands of Myers or the company, that's on us, whatever happens next.
At least give them
I
a
hate
chance.
to be the I hate to be the bearer of bad news and the complicator of things, but this does get a little more complicated in that if we choose to leave them here, we are also potentially choosing to loose 2 more of those creatures on this moon that we may or may not have to deal with, but somebody will certainly have to deal with. So I'm not sure that the options that you're laying out are quite as simple as you're making them.
So I think we got to waste them. I mean, stark reality. I hate to say it, but you're right. Chaplin's right. Okay.
I'm not sure that was exactly what I was trying to get to. Being blessedly unburdened by conscience, I still find that the insinuation that our best option is to kill them to be suboptimal, perhaps.
You feel the presence of someone over your shoulder, Dante, and you hear Wright speak and say, "The synth is right. You can't take me with you. I don't know when it's going to happen or what's going to happen exactly, but I'm a danger. And I don't want them getting whatever's inside of me, and I don't want the UPP getting whatever's inside of me. The only option is for you to put a bullet in my head. It's what I want. And if your friend in there is smart, it's what they'll take too."
I get chills, stand up, I shake her hand. I say, you're a brave person. I don't
Not
know
brave.
if I could have.
Just realize the situation I'm in. That's what we're Marines, right? We face reality when it's here. We're all gonna die someday.
I'll pull out my pistol and I'll say, do you want me to do it or do you want to do it?
I don't think I can do it myself.
Okay. I think we owe Ionia the same choice. So I think, yeah, I'll go in and say basically the same thing. Iona, we can't take you with us. You're a danger to us. You're a danger. Whatever is in your blood is a danger to not only us, but everybody on this planet. And if it gets off this planet, who knows how far it'll go. We can't take you with us.
We don't even know anything about it. There's med pods in the fort. They'll fix me up. They'll clean my blood. They'll do whatever they have to do.
No, they'll extract it from you, and they'll kill you.
You won't let that happen, right? I mean, we get in and we get me taken care of. Captain, come on. Captain, you can't do this. I'm one of you.
There's no way out. There's no way. I'm sorry. Look, Wright's gonna allow me to shoot her. Do you want to do it yourself, or do you want me to do it?
F that. And Iona starts to stand up and is going to push you on the shoulder and say, I'll go on my own. I don't need any of you. Make my own way. Apparently, I just have to do this myself.
Okay. There's the door.
I step up to Iona. I go like, don't be ridiculous, soldier. You know, if you go out there alone, you're as good as dead.
I stay in
And
here,
s-
I'm as good as dead. That's the choice you're giving me. I don't see any other way. Y'all gonna let Silva do this? Silva's about to execute Marines, and you're okay with that?
Close up on everybody's face, one by one.
I don't even know what to say to y'all. I thought this was something
Not
else.
saying that this is the right decision or the wrong decision, but I am saying that we do have incoming. Just as a reminder.
you know what? I take out my pistol and shoot Iona myself.
Okay. So to shoot another defenseless person, you have to first make an empathy check. Whether you succeed or not, your stress is going to go up by 1. So go ahead and add a stress level, and then
Yay.
make just a base empathy check. It's not one of the skills.
This is a funny one that you actually want to miss the roll to do it.
Wait, what is okay? I added the stress, taking me up to a wonderful 8. And by the way, this realistically reflects my actual stress level in this situation. What's this? What is the role I'm trying to make?
So an empathy.
You were trying to fail an empathy check.
Yeah.
So-
Can you choose like not to use your stress, or do you have to use those dice?
I think. Go ahead. Sorry.
I believe it's you just rolled the empathy stat, so you're just going to roll your base dice. So you don't roll stress dice with it, but your stress does go up.
Okay, I see the empathy stat. It says 3, but I don't know where the button is for that. Or did I just put 3?
There's a button that says base dice.
Got it. And then type 3.
Put in 3. Yep.
All right. Here we go. Was it good?
Yeah.
It's good if shooting
Yeah,
Iona
you want to
is
fail
good.
it. Bam.
So yeah, Mason, what's it look like? Paint the scene for us.
Mason reaches into her pocket, draws the pistol, and in the movement that she's doing it, her hand is shaking, and as the firearm extends, the shaking gradually reduces until it's really, really still, and then fires off.
And I imagine in that moment, you're like rehearing the screams of your last people from last time, knowing what they had to go through and thinking this is a cleaner death.
Yep, this is a mercy. And as the the pistol's smoking, and she puts it back in its holster, she tells Captain Silva, orders delivered.
Shake my head.
And Wright will turn and go into that master bedroom, and she says, I don't want you to do it in front of anybody. Just let's do it in here.
Okay.
And she'll go and kneel down against the wall. And so you can go ahead and make your own empathy check whenever you're ready.
Okay. All right. Right. Is there anybody you want me to talk to when we get out of here? Any final words? Anything you want to pass along?
I don't have anyone or anything worth passing on, but if you find Colonel Myers, you put a bullet in him.
Goddamn right I will. Bam. I missed mine too, so.
Yeah. All right. And I think about that time is when you hear Hammer from the roof say, at the same time he's coming over the comms, you hear this, boom as another ship is entering the atmosphere. He says, "Boss, this one looks like it's coming for us."
All right, everybody out the front door, out the back, opposite side of wherever this is coming from, and let's get out into the alleys and make our way towards Camp Nebraska.
right.
As we're filing out, I think Chaplin is going to sort of steal just like the briefest of moments with Mason, and is going to put their hand on Mason's shoulder and just say sorry, and then is going to just quietly mouth the words "watch me," and is going to take the papers that they took out of the constable's office, the evidence that they collected out of the constable's office out from under their jacket, and just pass them over to Mason, and then turn around and follow everybody else out.
Okay. I do want to say also within the moment that Chaplin approaches Mason is the time that Mason is holding the Colonial Marine figure. That is her signature item. Mechanically reduce stress by 1 level. Thank fucking God. But also remembering, I'd say remembering, is that established in the fiction? Remembering maybe a daughter or a son who was on the station with her when it was destroyed.
I don't think it's been established previously, but
yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure to what extent I can add authorship into the fiction. So
yeah, no, go for it.
Yeah, like how he joined, he came along on the station, I guess, to because he looks up to his mother as a Marine, but that didn't really work out well, and it cost him his life, and it's a regret she carries with her.
All right, excellent. I think that is a good pause point for our first break. So how's 5 minutes sound for everyone?
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. Actually, we're at 3 after the hour. Let's just be back at 10. We'll do it, keep it even. So 7-minute break. So see you at 10 after.
All
right. Okay. So we are back. So I think, leaving the compound is no problem. And so it sounds like we're gonna forego the ATVs and instead go on foot. So probably when you are, maybe just a block away, you hear the rumbling as this UPP ship comes closing in on the compound, and you can see, just how close you were to them coming up on you. But you're out, you're into the streets and the alleys, and you're on foot. As you start making your way through the colony, let's go around and hear from each of you. What do you see or feel now that is in contrast to when you first came through? Now that this is clearly it's a war zone, right? You can see ships flying the horizon, dropping bombs all around. The area you're walking through has already been bombed in portions, and things are, this collapsing colony has collapsed even more. So we're going to go around and get one thing from everyone. Anyone want to start us off?
Sure, I'll start.
Yeah, go, Mark.
So I think Dante is thinking, actually, maybe this is banter, because this place was a gigantic shithole to begin with. And now that But the great thing about it before was you couldn't see very far in the shithole because you would look and there would be a building. But now, since all the buildings are knocked down, you can just see this vast open landscape of shithole. It's worse.
Yeah.
And I think that, there's all these flames, all these flickering flames and the shadows, and, a lot of them look kind of like aliens. You have to look close the second time to, find out, whether something's about to get you.
Yeah, and there's like darting shadows as things move across the flames and such. What's Chaplain's see? What's Chaplain's perspective on how the area has changed since war came to the region?
So I think Chaplain just feels like everything is a little simpler now, because we've moved from like civilian protocol to war zone protocol. So now everything is sort of blacker and whiter, if that makes sense. So I think Chaplain is just sort of normal Chaplain.
So Chaplain's almost more at ease now, it sounds like. And what about Mason? What does Mason see or experience that sets this apart from earlier?
I guess. Well, I wouldn't say the same thing as Chaplain necessarily, but a little bit numb. Yeah, a little bit numb to the situation, especially since she just off someone as well, and she's struggling to reconcile, I guess, between the idea that of trying to survive this situation, but also understanding that there's no trying to live with this. There's no trying to compromise, and sometimes that means putting people out of their misery.
And so it sounds like you're maybe looking. You've been huffing it for a bit, and it's slower going than you thought it was going to be. You thought, okay, so we're about 5K. That's maybe an hour walking, but clearly with the amount of debris, the damage to the colony, it's going to take a lot longer than that. And you've already been at it for several hours as is. So it sounds like there was interest in looking for someplace to maybe rest for a bit.
Yeah, I think I noticed how everyone's dragging and obviously stressed out. So except for Daniel, of course, or except so I'll say, Chaplain, see if you can look ahead, see if you could find us somewhere out of sight that we can sit for a few minutes.
Yes, sir. So Chaplain will kind of range out ahead a little bit and see if we can't find some place that we can make a little makeshift camp, something like a secure space where they can catch a breather. I'm above such things.
Right. This is for the people.
Right. Of course. Yeah.
Yeah. I was thinking
this
we
is
do
part of my care subroutine.
Yeah. I was thinking we do a survival check.
Okay.
You can get, up to 3 bonuses with everyone's help. So you'll be at +3 modifier.
+3. Okay. Bam. Ooh, that's what success looks like.
Okay. So why don't you go ahead and describe to us what kind of area you come across? Is it a ramshackle building, a burnt out car, or what kind of thing do you find?
Yeah, let me actually, so I wanted to check and see. Yeah, there's no list of stunts for survival, huh? Oh, you said you didn't put everything in here, right? You put the things you thought we would need the most. Okay.
That's right. I'll pull that up real quick.
Yeah, just in case there's anything that's like super interesting in there. I think we find I think we find an abandoned smoke shop actually. So I think that
Silver's
yeah, I
happy.
think that right. Chaplin kind of picked up on the just the vague idea that when Silva was stressed out, Silva went to buy cigarettes, and so Chaplin's like looking around for something and sees the smoke shop and is like, "Oh, this is exactly what humans need to recuperate from large amounts of stress." Um, so they'll go in and kind of clear it, and it's it has obviously been hastily abandoned, and it looks like armloads of things have been taken out, including the cash and things like that, right? But there's still enough left here for people to resupply if they want to. It has like some snack machines and things like that, but it looks like it's pretty well fortified, and it's got like the like sort of the pull down cage for the windows and stuff, that for whatever reason hasn't been engaged. And it's tucked in the center of a 3 building spread, so it's got some cover from the sides and everything. So I think that that's what we find, and Chaplin will radio back that they found a place that we can hole up, and we'll ping it on the on our maps.
And one of the stunts is impressing someone, so maybe we cut to a shot of Silva's face, a look of awe and astonishment seeing this place.
Yeah, Chaplin's like leaning on a stand of Silva's brand of cigarettes as they like come around the corner.
Well done. So yeah, we'll hole up in there at least for a turn, maybe 2 if we can.
Yeah, so because I hate arbitrary decisions, I was thinking maybe why don't someone roll like a d4 and we can see, I don't know, how long would you want to stay? Like, is 2 the maximum, or?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd use my tactical experience. Do I feel like we're going to get attacked if we spend X amount of time, or does it seem pretty quiet?
I think
I don't know.
so let's do it this way. Let's say I think looking at the shop, you can see it's fairly well fortified in terms of your ability to be off the main road. It does have decent view into it, but you've got a decent view of anything coming, right? And so it's pretty good as far as places go, especially when you're you can't be too picky right now, and you'll probably at least have a heads up before anyone.
I think we would push it a little bit and go for 2 turns. I think 20 minutes or so. I think given the situation, that seems pretty dangerous, but within reason, given the situation.
Yeah. So here's what I'm gonna do. I have a random encounter in mind. I'm gonna say there's like a 1 in 6 chance each turn that it happens. So I'm just gonna roll a d6 and we'll see. We'll let the dice decide. So, well, and it's a 6. But hey, that's why we do it that way. Okay, so you settle down. I imagine y'all are probably, settling in. Hammer grabs a corner, right, where he's kind of like pushed some of the broken glass and stuff out of the way, and he's like just laid down and closed his eyes. And then you can hear this rumbling of chains starting to clink off in the distance, this heavy bass behind it, and to your combat trained ears, it's clearly a tank.
Okay. It sounds like the way Daniel described it, like this building sort of in a block, so maybe it's off main thoroughfare. So I'm tempted just to try to hunker down, kill all of our lights and just try to stay quiet, and hopefully it'll pass. But I mean, we definitely will be peeking out the windows.
Yeah, does someone want to go ahead and do like an observation check?
I'm kind of now imagining like the entire store with the lights off during this whole situation, and the only thing you can see are like the red dots of cigarette ash like glowing in the darkness.
Right.
Like 5 or 6 of them, just like specks of light.
So maybe
Yeah.
we'll have Daniel on like an upper floor. So maybe you'll have Chaplin make that roll for us.
Sure. Yeah, that
I
makes
think
sense.
you're the
like,
most
while
observant. I
you're
think you're the most
recuperating
observant of us,
Chaplin.
anyways. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. While they're recuperating, Chaplin will do whatever needs to be done. So yeah, I'll roll some observation.
Yeah.
Boop. Hey, what is that?
Nice. So Chaplin, you see coming down the street is a UPP tank, slowly rolling down the street, and it's got a small regiment of soldiers with it. You can count about a hand's worth, maybe there's a couple extra hidden on the other side that you can't quite tell, and they look like they're just kind of like walking down the street, right? They're not going into stores from what you can see, they're just walking down the street looking around for whatever it is they're looking for. So I think that tells you there's you've got a shot with what Silva's plan is.
Mhm.
But they're definitely heading towards where y'all are at.
Okay. So for my stunt, I would like to ask, how would we get passed away from them if we needed to?
Good question. So I think definitely one option is, I mean, you could go, you've got enough lead on them. You could go ahead and leave now and get out the back door and you're fine. But then you're going to have to start the whole like looking for someplace to rest over again.
Okay. So Chaplin will report the incoming unit, force size, disposition, all of that to Silva directly, and be sure to indicate, like they don't appear to be searching building by building. They don't appear to know we're here. They're looks like just some kind of a patrol.
Okay. So
my suggestion is we just lay low.
yeah, let's do that. Everybody get out of sight in case somebody looks in the window or opens the door. We'll lock the door, just to make it look like this place has been abandoned. And yeah, we'll just hopefully cross our fingers and hope they pass on by.
I'm going to make sure that the safety is set on my pulse rifle.
Makes sense. This is a good time to call that out. So I'm looking to see if the stealth mode rules apply right now, because they would be passive enemies. If you want to sneak past enemies, okay, that's if you're wanting to sneak past or make a sneak attack. Okay, so I think everyone just goes quiet. You actually hear Hammer snoring a little bit, and then like Z elbows him. It's like, dude, don't fucking fall asleep right now. And a few minutes goes by, you hear the tank creeping closer and closer. You hear it reaching the front of the store. You can see the shadows being cast, falling into the store across the stands that are lining up. And you hear one of the people say, "Hey, hold up. I need some smokes." And so the tank kind of slows, and one person walks into the store. You hear them like kicking glass around, kind of poking at stands and things. I think I'm going to ask Silva to make a stealth. You see this person, right, coming in and enter your field of vision. You're not visible immediate to them, right? Like they're not looking in your direction. So let me ask you, what do you do?
Silent as death. Just
Let me be more clear. They walk in and they're not looking in your direction, but if they turn and look in your direction, they're going to see you.
all right. Well, it sounds like I have to slink out of view. Then I have to kind of.
You've got that option, or I'll say you've got a chance if you wanted to. You could probably they're not in sight of the main
Sure.
way to the door. You could make a shot at them, maybe take them out quietly.
Have the rest of the patrol moved along? Is this guy pretty much on his own now, or are they all kind of standing outside waiting for,
Yeah,
you
you heard the tank come to a stop, and you can hear people kind of
Okay.
milling about outside talking.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to hide. We don't want to start anything here.
Okay, so let's do so they're passive. So to make a stealth move, you do a mobility check against their observation.
Okay.
I'm gonna say you're in adjacent zones, so there's no modifier on your mobility roll.
Okay.
And I will get their observation.
Ooh, I actually rolled well. 3.
That's pretty good.
No panic.
Let's see about. Okay. So, because, of course, this is like a very tense scene in the movie, right? You make your move, and there's like the slightest bit of sound that comes from it. And we see the insurgent like perk their head over, and they kind of slowly start walking towards you holding the gun. And I'm picturing you're like on the other side of, a desk or a counter or something. And just as they're reaching the end, someone yells out, "Hey, enough playing with yourself. Let's go."
Right.
And he says, yeah, okay. They turn around and walk back out the front. A couple minutes later, tank starts up. And they move on down the road. And yeah, well, go ahead.
Light up a cigarette.
And Hammer's back to snoring. And so I think at that point, I think I'm gonna let's get the 2 turns. After that point, you're clear. So go ahead and you can take 2 turns to rest and recover. Catch some quick Z's if you want it. Yeah.
Did Dante have some banter with that too? I can't remember. Okay. So that's 4 stress we can take off. 2 per turn.
Yep. Yeah, Dante's like pulling down all these different smokes and like lighting them and taking a drag on each one, maybe some cigars, trying to find one that she likes because they all taste horrible to her. And so she's throwing all these lit smokes on the ground and talking. She's, I'm sorry. While she's doing this, she's got running commentary for it as well. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm curious to hear how does everyone, how do they rest and recharge? It sounds like Dante's trying cigars, doing some bantering. Hammer is lightly snoring over there. Mason, what are you doing to rest and recover?
Not to be like not the lampshade, our chat, but I think if it is reasonable to conclude that one of us at least has alcohol on them, that's definitely it. Like a hip flask, just nursing it over the,
Oh, I think Zimievsky is totally the kind of Marine that probably pulls out. It's probably one of these things. It's like it's shaped like a hand grenade. And he like pops the top off, and you see him drink from it, and he's like, "Here, Mason."
Oh man, I've seen one of those actually. A novelty grenade, like a alcohol flask. Yeah, all right. And I think if whether or not you have time for this as RP or whatever, yeah, definitely conferring with Zemyowski over this libation.
Yeah, I mean, he's like incoming, and he throws the little hand grenade at you. And did you have something you wanted to say to him, or?
No, not really. I can't think
Okay.
of anything. Yeah.
Then it's probably chat about how he gets the liquor from the gosh, what do they call it on military bases where you go and buy supplies?
PX.
Is that it? I was thinking of a different term, but that's probably right.
Wait,
There's
are you
something
talking
else.
Anyways, but yeah, he's probably just telling nonsense stories about the last time he went to the supply shop, and how he spent all of his allowance on booze and whatnot, and that's all he's got left. But better now than ever.
And I think Silva spends the time smoking, and I've got my personal data pad out, my tablet, and I'm going over the maps of Camp Nebraska and the surrounding area, trying to figure out how the hell we're going to get in there.
Yeah, and this whole time, Silva, you can hear those railguns still firing in the background off in the distance. And it's got to be going to the back of your mind that the automated defense systems, when they're on, go after anything. They don't tell Marine from UPP. And so if the fort's in lockdown, that's going to be something to deal with. All right, so a bit of time passes and everyone gathers himself back together and back onto walking.
Just before we set off walking, I think there's a shot of Dante leaning up against one of the displays. She's got her papers out again, and she's looking from her papers to the space elevator there in the distance, and then back to her papers. And then she looks over at Silva, shakes her head, puts the papers away.
And so you continue walking for some time, jumping from alley to alley. You'll come across a couple of patrols of UPP soldiers. You hear some more of their ships flying overhead. The bombing is now starting to slow. You don't hear as many bombing runs at this point. And you moving for a bit, you reach a junction that's got a large opening, a large crossways that you're going to have to move across. You scan the area, you can see there's some bombed out buildings that have collapsed in on themselves. Some are half standing. And it's one of those moments where you can tell, like, if I was a sniper, this is where I'd be.
Does this place have sewers? The old standby? Is it possible to go underground to get there?
It doesn't
There won't be any
have,
xenomorphs there, I'm sure.
it doesn't have sewers under the ground. All the pipes are above ground.
Okay.
So it does have the oil pipes and then other pipes that travel throughout the colony, including, you would have seen on your map, Silva, there is an oil pipe that will lead straight into the base.
How do you guys feel about getting covered in oil, getting greasy? So I think unless there's any dissent, I think that's the way we'll do it.
Yes, sir.
Although it sounds like it might be flaming, but we'll try it.
Okay, so that oil pipe is still a bit off. So it's not the pipes you're at now. So
Okay.
you still got the present situation.
Hmm.
I can make it.
Well, Daniel, I think you would probably be the most, if anyone's going to make it, it would be you. Try to stay low, scout out, see if you can spot any snipers or any danger. Call us over when you feel it's safe. We'll cover you.
Yeah, sounds great. This should be a blast. Oh, I
So-
think we just lost Matthew.
We did. I think that if you're so if Chaplin is going to run across this area, then the rest of us need to be on alert with our rifles up to return fire if we identify the sniper location, right?
Right. Definitely, hammer with the smart rifle. That's a good long range
Okay.
suppression. We'll definitely have him ready to go.
So I don't have observation. I mean, I'm not good at observing, John, but I'm assuming that's what it's going to come down to. If
Did I say Dante or did Daniel, or I meant Chaplin would probably be the person to go out there.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You called him Daniel, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Daniel
don't
would
want you to
not
think
do
it was
it.
you.
Chaplin's fine with it.
Yeah, if you want to do like a precursor, observation look, see if you can
Sure.
spot danger, you can go ahead and do
Yeah.
that.
I would rather just go blind. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, definitely. We'll start with a look.
Since the rest of us are looking too, could he get a assist die?
Yeah. So do y'all have the is it like the the little mirrors you pull out, right? That you keep on the end of the wire and then you look around the corner?
Seemed
Right.
like the kind of low tech thing we would have. The low tech, high tech thing.
Yeah.
I don't remember I don't think in Aliens they had night vision, did they? Oh no, they had like those
Yeah.
little drop down reticles, didn't they?
Yep.
Oh yeah, they did. Yeah.
Go to infrared, as I recall.
Oh yeah, right. So is that 3 bonus dice? How does that
Yeah. Yeah, you
Okay.
get +3. It is dark now at this point.
Okay.
So that puts a -2 on observations, so it's a +1 overall.
+1 overall? Okay.
Yeah.
Boop. Ooh, 1. Woo, 1.
Okay. So you do spot some movement along one of the roofs where you can see there's a person that's set up with this rifle and scanning up and down the street.
So Chaplin will use the military hand signals that they obviously know to catch Silva's attention and point out, that there's one hostile on roof over here, X number of meters, that kind of thing.
Right. Hammer, do you think you got a shot?
Hammer, it looks like he's got too much cover. I mean, he's up on this roof. He's got, the edge. He's peeking over it. I think we give our spot away and probably not even get him.
All right.
What if I drew him out?
It's worth a try.
If you can bait him, I can take the shot.
I'm sorry, I fell off the internet.
That's okay. So the gang has spotted a sniper on one of the roofs overlooking this area. They've got a fair bit of cover, so the discussion is now whether or not Chaplin should attempt to bait this person into further exposing themselves.
Yeah, Chaplin, see if you can, draw them out, make them have to move a little bit to expose themselves to hammer shot to our fire.
Let me borrow a helmet and a rifle.
Okay, I'll give them mine, my helmet, my rifle.
So Chaplin will put the helmet kind of lopsidedly on their head and kind of hold the rifle in an obvious but uncomfortable way so that it's apparent, so that they don't look like a civilian just walking across the street or whatever, which may not draw fire. And we'll look back and
Hammer gives you the thumbs up.
And then Chaplin will kind of, in the way that they think it should look, like start advancing across the open space like a soldier would.
Okay, and so are you like running out and doing like a zigzag pattern? Or are you just walking out there?
So I think Chaplin is just walking out there and is relying on whoever is going to shoot this person to do their thing.
Okay.
I'm imagining like him moving, like starting and going in a direction that would force this person to have to like adjust their position to get a shot at him,
Right.
and then
Right.
expose themselves to our fire.
To art, yeah, right.
I'm just thinking of how to mechanically handle this. Because my anticipation was that you were going to run, in which case I was going to have you do a mobility check to like run out
Nope.
and avoid getting hit.
Nope.
But it sounds like you're just
I mean,
going
like
to walk.
No, yeah, the idea is like I want to lure this person into the idea that they can take like a relaxed shot, right?
Sure.
And then to reveal themselves. So like,
is it possibly a type of manipulation, or is that all verbal, or can you like that type of communications?
That's an interesting question. Let's take a quick look. That would be empathy.
yeah, there isn't really anything that looks like it that like it encompasses like tactics or
Right. There's no like, this is the downside of not having playbook moves. There's no like beta trap.
Right.
Okay, so let's you know what? Let's do this. I almost want to say let's just do a straight wits roll.
Okay. Do you object to me just clicking on my survival, which is wits +0?
No, that's fine.
Okay. Here we go. 1.
All right.
Yay.
Okay. So this person's going to have to make a move to fire. So now the question is, who can fire faster, this person or Hammer? So I think there's actually rules for contested range combat. Do you recall them, Jason?
No, I don't remember that.
It was I think it's under Overwatch. Like if two people are doing Overwatch.
Oh, if they're both doing Overwatch? Yeah. I think basically what we just did is maybe we won initiative, so maybe he'll get his shot first. Hammer will get his shot first. Maybe that's how I would do it.
That works for me. I like that. That makes sense. Okay, so let's go ahead and do Hammer's ranged combat. Where are you at, ranged combat? There it is. And this is going to be long distance, which I'm trying to think, does that affect? No, smart gun is long, so that is fine.
There is a range modifier, so it's -2 dice for long range. And it is dark too, right?
Oh, that's right. But the smart
Although
gun,
we have the night vision, yeah.
the smart gun is long range, so I don't think it's modified, is it?
It means it can shoot that far, but it still has the range modifier.
Okay.
You stop being helpful, Jason.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
So we're at -2, right? I think is where we
Do you
landed.
want to count the dark also, or are you assuming we have this sort of night vision, or we've already spotted them or whatever?
Since the smart gun is an assisted aiming thing, right? Like that's its whole point. Let's say that doesn't apply in this case. So
Okay.
just the
Sure.
range. Okay. So Hammer got none. Oh man, the last one that we got 2 on it, but say levy. Now let's try this soldier. Oops. I lost my modifier window. Where'd it go?
We should have yelled at Hammer a few times to up his stress before the shot.
Right. Just punch him in the face.
Right.
Okay, so the same things do apply to the sniper though, right? Like they're aiming long distance and they're dark and they're not assisted aiming. So I'm going to give them -4 on this.
John, it looked like you rolled hammer shot
Whoops.
a couple times. And the first time he did get some successes.
Yeah, that was before. I think that was before John took the modifiers.
Yeah,
that
it was
you,
without the
helpfully
modifiers.
provided.
Yeah.
Okay. I see.
Yeah.
And then I accidentally rolled a bunch of stress dice for the UPV soldier, but the base ones all missed. So, a couple things happen pretty quick. Hammer fires, and we see this like spray bullets on the side of the building where this person is. But then you hear the loud crack of a rifle ring out and strike the ground right next to you, Chaplain. And then you actually feel the ground start to shift and give way under you. You all feel the ground rumbling as it caves in under you, Chaplain. I'd like for you to go ahead and make a mobility check.
This was not part of the plan.
No.
Whew.
You're hot.
Okay.
I am hot right now. I'm leaving, going to Vegas again.
So you are able to jump out of the way as this sinkhole, appears in the middle of this road where you were at. The snow and dirt starts collapsing in, and you can see that there's like this broken pipe that was underneath it that doesn't have oil in it. It's got silt and dirt and like goo that looks like very thick viscous oil that's been like almost like oil with kitty litter, like sort of that
Ew.
Consistency.
Okay.
But I'm gonna say you're able to jump out of the way and you don't fall into the pit, and you jump and make it back to the rest of the gang, cornered in this alley. So the sniper knows you're there, but you're in cover at the moment. What do you want to do?
Is that pipe the pipe we need to get into to get to the base? Or is it just a random pipe?
This is just a random pipe. The one that leads into the base is further in. That said, you could get into this pipe and use it
work our way
to at least get out of this area.
True. So I think what we need to do then is have Hammer lay down suppressing fire to try to keep this guy's head down. The rest of us advance. When we get closer, then we'll lay down some suppressing fire with our pulse rifles, let Hammer come up to us. Then maybe if we can jump into the sinkhole and go underground and get past this guy, at least through this pipe, if I'm reading what you're saying, John.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea.
Sounds safe. What could go wrong?
Dice. I'll take my helmet. I'll take my helmet and gun.
Yeah. Right. Yep.
So trying to think of how we resolve this. I'm almost thinking let's do initiative just so we can have an order of operations. The pipe is one zone over from where you're at. I'm gonna go ahead and say you can flat out jump into the hole and be careless about it. You'll take a little bit of damage, but probably nothing too severe. Or you'll be able to use a slow action as a mobility check to climb down carefully. So that'll be on the table. So let's go ahead and let me start a turn order. Yeah, go away, modifier box. And y'all can go ahead and roll your initiative die.
I think we have to wait until you get us. Although we found it didn't work very well regardless. But
yeah, and I don't actually have a map for this either, so I'm just going to type in the numbers. This is going to all be theater of the mind, though.
Okay. Initiative dice.
Let's do sniper. Add them to the turn. Dante, Chaplin, Silva, let's see, who am I missing? Mason. Zhimyevsky, I'm just gonna like kind of have be a ghost participant who's just gonna like run and jump into this hole. Okay, so Dante, you've got a 2. I'll type that in. Chaplin has a 6. Silva's a 9. Mason is a 10. And then let's get 1 for the insurgent and 1 for Hammer. All right, Hammer's a 5. And the sniper is a 6. Okay, does anyone want to trade their initiative spots?
I'll trade with Hammer if that works, so that Hammer can begin the suppressing fire. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Yeah.
I think it does. So Hammer would be doing the Overwatch action, I believe. As fast action, you assume Overwatch in a specified direction, as long as you have a ranged weapon and no enemies in engaged range. That means he can fire at a specified direction and are ready to shoot. So between when you assume the position and the time you the time you act in the next round, you can fire your weapon against the target in the chosen direction. So basically, he'll be ready to fire the minute this person pops up. So that makes sense.
What happens? Excuse me. What happens on ties?
I think y'all can just pick. I think if we really wanted to like debate it, we could go by like mobility modifier. But if y'all are, it's between you and the sniper. That's a great question.
Yeah.
I think what you did previously is you kind of went by like who narratively had the jump on the other, so.
Yeah, I'm going to say the Chaplain, you'll go first.
Okay. Then I will trade my initiative with Mason, if that's cool with Mason.
Sounds good. So Chaplain will be a 10. Mason will be a 6. Okay, resources. Okay, so Hammer takes up Overwatch position, and that's his fast action, and he's holding his slow action in case this person fires. So just to lay out the area, y'all are in this alley. There is this pit that has opened up. It is 1 zone over, right? So you're talking about a quick sprint, and then you're down, into it. At the bottom of that is this pipe that's like got dried up material in it that it sounds like y'all are planning to get into and head through. So Hammer is covering this corner, and he looks to Dante and says, "All right, you're up first."
So just to clarify the options here, is it we can get into the pipe and be safe if we take a small amount of damage because we're reckless, or we can get near the pipe and be maybe in some cover and then descend into the pipe safely, like a turn later? Is that kind of what we're looking at?
I think that's the case. I think if you take the time to climb down, you're not fully covered. You're maybe like half covered.
Okay.
And you're risking, the next round. And the next round you'll be in, or you can just do it all in one go.
Right, and then anyone who goes after the sniper could potentially be shot by the sniper's Overwatch or whatever.
Right.
As part of this process. Okay, gotcha. Okay.
It sounds like
I'll let all of you make the hard
mechanically
decisions then.
we would need to do a fast action to move 1 zone, and then we could use our slow action to carefully climb down, or just jump in. Sounds
right, or jump in, and I think it'll be 3 damage mitigated by a mobility check to see how well you land. So those are the stakes. So Dante, what's it going to be for you?
So I'm going to take that fast action to move the zone to the pipe. and then my slow action to climb down into it. Does that?
If you want to take the more cautious route and climb, you reach the edge where the cement is broken up now, and start looking for handholds and footholds as you start making your way down, and you'll get a bit of the way down into the pit, but you're not going to get into the pipe.
So I'd still be in the pit and still vulnerable.
Yeah, you're still somewhat exposed. Or you can risk the jump.
Right. I'm going to risk the jump.
Okay.
What the heck, huh?
Go ahead and make a mobility check.
That seems very Dante.
Yeah.
Actually, I think 3 is too much, because I'm actually pulling that from something else where you'd be falling from a higher height. So let's say this is not as big of a pit. Let's say it's 2 damage mitigated by mobility. That seems more reasonable.
Okay, and no modifiers on this, correct?
Correct.
Oof. All right.
You can't push when you get a facehugger, so.
Right.
So you're going to take 2 damage, and you need to make a panic check.
Okay. Do I take a stress automatically, or just to make the panic check?
You take a stress when you get injured, when you take damage. So you do take a stress level.
Take a stress.
You might not take damage though, because you I believe armor can mitigate fall damage.
Oh, okay.
So your armor might save you here.
How do I roll my armor, or?
Yeah, that armor button.
Okay, let me go back to. I'm just gonna reset stuff. Bloop bloop bloop. Right. Oh.
Nope.
Who manufactured this armor?
So it sounds like this is probably like a twisted ankle or something that you land on.
Oh man. Okay, so
2 damage and 1 stress. Then it sounds like.
Right.
And then a panic check.
Here's my panic check. It's a 4. Which I guess I don't have the results in front of me.
6 and under, you keep it together.
Okay. I am gonna make my 1d6 roll though, because I just took a stress and I don't have my safety on because I was planning on returning fire on the I can't get my result. Oh, did I roll 6?
You did roll a 6.
Okay. So that's an involuntary fire. So I twitch once I'm down in the tunnel, I guess, and discharge the pulse rifle.
Yeah. Do you think, since this is from you, landing and taking stress, do you fire into the tunnel, into the pipe?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, which makes sense. I'm glad that I'm the first one down, but we'll see who else I kill down there, or if it explodes.
Yeah, there's nothing flammable.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, now that you're down here, I mean, yeah, you fire into the pipe and you hear the ricochet of the bullets, bouncing throughout the pipe, because it's empty except for this goop along. It's like silt. It's like river silt.
Yeah,
and like thick river silt, and it's really kind of weird, right? Like this shouldn't be in an oil pipe. Doesn't make sense. But you made it.
Don't come down here.
So, yeah, the sniper's going to take Overwatch to themselves. Well, I'm just gonna. I think what's going to happen is they're probably going to pop up to fire when Mason goes. Hammer will go first, and then we'll see if the sniper goes. So let's go ahead and go to Mason. So Mason, you're up now. Hammer looks to you and says, "All right, you're next."
So how far is how much distance do we have to cross left to our target?
It's like 15 or 20 feet sprint to get to the hole, and then you've got the option of do you just jump in and get down to the bottom quickly and get out of harm's sight, or do you take your time?
I think what Mason would want to do is like take the position that Silva and Hammer are trying to secure for us as quickly as possible. But I think she might be reckless enough to try to take off a few shots. I guess I'm not sure how that works. Like does she just sort of like run while firing, or does she slide into cover?
You can fire while you're running,
Yeah.
but that means you're foregoing the option of the slow climb down because you'll have to make a roll for your ranged combat. So you're gonna just be jumping in unless you're like wanting to stay at the top. But it sounds like you're wanting to like run and fire.
Yeah. Will that leave me open into the next round, I guess?
No, not if you're jumping into the pit.
Okay. All right. So let's do that. Run and fire, I guess.
Okay. So the order of operations here is we see Mason come running out of the alleyway, right? Pulls rifle up. You see the sniper take aim, but you've got Hammer who's on Overwatch for you. So Hammer's going to fire first.
Mm-hmm.
So let me go back to Hammer.
Come on, Hammer.
To
My brain is melting with XCOM and Gears of War anxiety.
yeah. Do Hammer's check. All right, that's pretty good. Does have to make a panic roll.
All right. I have to make it. Oh, Hammer.
No, Hammer does, but Hammer's good. Keeps it together.
Yeah, I see. Nice.
And we're just gonna pour all of that in to damage, right? Yeah.
John, I was thinking suppressing fire, what he was trying to do. I think one of the stunts is like stun or something that
And
takes away their
down.
slow action. So I was
Yeah.
thinking maybe if we could take away the opponent's slow action with one of those, then they would lose their shot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense because you don't know what their armor's gonna do, and so it's possible their armor, and they've got a little bit of cover from being
And like
vertical
Hammer
such.
isn't trying to kill him as much as just try to keep his head down.
Yeah, that makes
His all
sense.
move.
So okay, so one of those stunts will go to the pin down, take away their slow action. That still
Also,
leaves.
person make a test, right?
Yeah, he did. He got a 3.
Oh,
Yeah.
no, I'm sorry. Like as a stunt, can you make someone else?
Oh,
make a panic
NPCs don't make panic checks.
Okay.
Yeah. So now I just need to check this person's armor. Adding in their cover.
The
Oops.
smart guns. What's the base damage? 3 on that.
3, yeah.
So even with a stunt, he's still doing. Let's see, 3 + 2, 5 damage.
5 damage, and this person's armor does soak 1 of it. So they actually aren't down, but you hear this person like yell out and scream. They sound like they're in pain, but well, and you know what, Mason, you said you wanted to fire too, right? So you get the opportunity. You're exchanging fire and all this. So why don't you go ahead and make your ranged combat check?
All right. Ranged combat. No modifiers.
So you're actually
Attack with the rifle. Sorry. Yeah.
yeah, because you're aiming. It's long distance, so that's -2, and it's dark, so that adds another 2 because you don't have the aim assist like the smart gun does. So you're actually going to be at -4.
Okay. All right. Let me factor that in. Let's see. Attack -4. Oh, hey.
Matthew, did you take away 4 stress when we relaxed?
I took away 1 earlier from my move. I didn't know we took 4.
Oh, you took 1 for your signature item, but then we had 2 turns of resting, so you should have taken away
Yeah, so you got some
4
more.
more stress. Yeah.
Okay, that would have significantly altered my RP too. But sorry.
Yeah.
No worries. So unfortunately, take the 4 stress away, and then unfortunately you're gonna have to re-roll. So
No problem. No
fingers
problem.
crossed that
All
you
right.
get successes again.
All right. Sorry. Ridiculous.
Oh boy.
That'll do ya.
Yeah. All right. Panic check, and you've got -2 in your panic
That's
checks.
right. Panic. I can remember that one for once. Let's see. Panic. That's a 5, so that makes a 3. Am I right?
Yep.
That's right. So you keep it together. So Mason, you're basically just running and gunning. you don't hit a whole lot of anything except, open air, but you make it across, you close the gap and you jump into the pit. So go ahead and make a mobility check to see how you land.
That's my Hudson moment, and let no one ever speak of this again. Mobility. No modifiers. Okay, submit mobility. 2 hits.
Okay. So you don't take any damage. You land cleanly.
Nice.
And you see Dante down there already in the pipe, checking it out. All right, Silva, you're up now. Hammer looks to you and says, "All right, Captain, your turn."
So I'm gonna run up and I'm gonna shoot the guy, and I'm not gonna jump in the hole though.
Okay.
Close range combat, pulse rifle, attack -4. All right, I got 2 hits. I'll put it on damage. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at 3 damage.
All right, let's see if this person.
It's armor piercing. You got that?
Oh yes, thank you. I always forget that. Which means I got that wrong for Hammer, but
You only rolled 1, so no biggie.
so let me do base dice so I can control the amount. Here we go. Because he does still have partial cover, so gets a fair amount from that, but no armor this time. So that'll do it. So Silva, I feel like Silva, you walk out and just like deliver that killing blow, and just like I don't need to run, I don't need to jump.
Right. Okay, we're clear, Hammer. Let's get in this hole. I think, looking at the PDAT, we should be able to follow this to, an opening, which will get us much closer.
Yep, this will. It looks like this is going to get you pretty close to the base, though not all the way. And so I think we will go ahead and take our next break there, and then come back and wrap up episode 4. So let's come back at 20 after the hour. All right. Okay. So a couple of you rushed in, jumping into the pit, dodging death. But then between Hammer and Silva, able to take out that rooftop sniper, no problem, and calmly climb down into the pit. You enter into this old oil pipe that isn't quite big enough for you to just straight walk through. You have to kind of hunch forward, right, at an awkward angle, and so you're walking through it, and your feet keep slipping on this oil silt stuff in the bottom, and your lower back is starting to burn from having to walk awkwardly the whole way. And it just feels like it's going on and on. The minutes drag along, and Dante, you've still got that burning in your throat from this acid reflux, and you actually, Dante, at one point, you've got your flashlights out, shining around. And you look down and you realize your hand is red. It's covered in blood.
So I'm looking at the silty stuff. Is that actually, I'll take my other hand that I guess is clean, and I'll wipe it across my lips.
And it comes back with a smear of red on it along the top edge.
And then I'm going to put my hand down on like my stomach area and see, I know I've got this acid reflux, but do I have something else going on that's concerning?
Your stomach feels all right.
Okay. Good. Okay. No, it's cool. It's fine. So I'm not going to say anything, obviously. I'll just keep moving along.
And you all continue on through this pipe. Your breathing echoing off the walls, and Silva. Oh, sorry, bad timing. Silva, what's it like breathing in this, dirty air from this pipe? What is it like being in this cramped environment?
I mean, it's uncomfortable, but Silva's a veteran. She's lived through all kinds of crazy shit, and she's a survivor, and she's got her mind on the prize. So she's just keeping everybody moving. She's ignoring the pain.
And so you keep going, and you start to get to where you think you got to be getting close to the end soon, right? And sure enough, you can start to hear noises coming from up ahead, and you start to see that dot of light coming up, and it's another broken passage in the pipe where the pipe has been broken open and is exposed, and you can hear gunfire going on outside. It sounds like there's a firefight happening. What do you do?
Move quietly, quickly. Once we get out, deploy, get ready to fight. Take cover.
We sort of like hustle, like, just sort of like, yeah.
So I think let's do a mobility check. As you get to the end of this pipe, you don't have great visibility outside, so you're gonna have to kind of just exit and hit cover somewhere and then get your bearings. Let's everyone do a mobility check for how well this is the coordinated Marine, hitting the ground and exiting, right? This is the thing that you practice as a Marine. You practice this over and over. So let's see how well you execute it.
Is it possible for me to make a command roll to give like bonus dice before?
Yeah. Who do you think? Who in this situation needs to be commanded and needs to be brushed up a bit?
Dante or Mason, which one of you guys is really bad at mobility? I'm guessing Dante. Dante seems to be struggling. So I'm going to say Dante. We'll go with that.
We are equally inept at mobility, Dante.
Silva, I don't need your help. Thank you for doing it, though.
I got one, but I did panic. So let me roll that. And I did get the 7. So that's the, what is it? Tremble? No, I always forget that one.
Yeah, I think that's tremble.
Nervous twitch. My stress level and the stress level of all friendly PCs increased by 1.
Which is going to be everybody.
Yeah.
And so Dante's got to do their check as well.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.
Okay, I'm sorry. I take a panic. Is that? Or I'm sorry. I take a stress level.
Everybody gets a stress because you see me twitching, and then you have to make your D6 roll for your gun.
Okay.
I mean, technically, this will make everyone's die roll better.
This is helping.
But I did succeed,
well
so Mark, you'll get a +1 on your mobility roll.
Excellent, thank you.
All right, mobility. Here we go. Oh, I did well.
Wow.
The stunts on that is you can give a +1 to, oh no, that's to a later skill roll related. Okay, never mind. If I need it, I'll have a +1 on a later skill roll related to this. Oh, I can give 1 success to another PC in the same situation. So I'll give the other +1 to you, Matthew, if you haven't rolled already.
All right.
I'm also rolling Hammer and Shemievsky's as well. So that
Chaplin's
how they
actuators
fare.
are all like oiled from the muck that was in the in the
Hey.
pipe we just went through and everything. They're cruising right along.
2 mobility successes. Wait, is Dante the only one rolling a panic roll, or?
At the moment, yep. And so you said for your, you can give out a +1, Silva. I think you might want to give that to Hammer. It looks like Hammer's the only one that didn't get any successes.
Sure. Go, Hammer, go ahead. I give him a success. I don't give him a die, right? It just gives him a success.
I think
if
so,
if I
yeah.
read it correctly, yeah. Yeah, sure.
Uh,
I'll just give Hammer a success then.
Sorry, there was so much crosstalk there going on. Like, wait, you gave me a success. Does that take away the success that from Hammer, or was that a different thing altogether?
So I got 3 successes on my ability roll. So I succeeded, and then I had 2 stunts. So one of those is I can give someone a success. So
Yeah.
it sounds like Hammer was the only one that failed. So I gave him my success to
Okay.
allow him to succeed. So we all succeeded, but it looks like Dante panicked.
Yeah, so
Drop an item.
you drop an item. Okay. I'll think on that for a moment. Who wants to paint the picture of what it looks like as this Marine group, exits the pipe, coming out into, there's a firefight happening, not right on you, but in the distance. But what's that look like?
I keep seeing Saving Private Ryan, the landing on Omaha Beach, that kind of thing, when they come off the landing craft and they just run out and I don't know if there's wire or concrete wall or whatever it is, but we all run out and hit the ground and take cover. That's what I'm seeing. We spread out.
And Dante, I'm going to say you drop your shoulder mounted lamp. I think you hit the edge of the pipe as you're coming out, and it unsnaps from your gear.
Okay.
And falls behind you. And yeah, what's it look like? I mean, you hear it fall, but there's the rest of the Marines going with you, right? Going ahead of you, right?
I think that I think Dante doesn't even really notice that much at the moment because it's dark, right? The firefight is ahead of us somewhere, but she's just like using the light that's available. She doesn't know that it's off, and she's like hitting her shoulder, like where she thinks the lamp should be, to try to bring it back on. And
so you all exit out, taking cover behind some bits of that. You can see the bombing here was real bad. There's shards of road, sticking up at different angles, and so you're able to just exit the pipe and hit some cover real quick. And you can see that there's some UPP up ahead, exchanging fire with what looks like maybe a small couple of Marines who are pinned down somewhere. You can't quite see where they're at. You just see where they're being fired on. No one seemed to have noticed that you've come out of this pipe. What do you want to do? You could probably skirt around this engagement, or you could attempt to intervene.
How many UPP are there?
I'd say there's about a half dozen.
Are they bunched up? Are they spread out? Like, are we coming from their flank or their rear, or
You're definitely at their flank. They're not so bunched that they're all in one spot, but they're fairly compact. They've kind of spread along, across a couple areas. They've got their own cover, right? Firing down the street at like what looks like a burnt out car.
All right, I think we've got the jump on them. Let's do a job. We've got a job to do here, Marines. Let's save our comrades. So I think, yeah, we're gonna enter initiative, I think.
We're gonna try and hand wave this a bit since y'all have surprise. so I think you're basically all just going to kind of get like a free action, and this is really more narrative than anything. So yeah, what do y'all pull out to take this jump? Are we pulling out like grenade launchers or? I see Dante
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to fire this grenade launcher before this is over. I'll tell you that, sir.
Well, you had that RPG too, didn't you say?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Put the RPG and RPG, am I right?
Yeah, but this might be the. Yeah, I was gonna grenade launch, but that RPG, that's another level of a coolness. So, might be time to pull out one of those. Yeah. That's
All right. All right.
And you'll have my flamethrower.
Sure.
My axe.
So I think let's do it this way. We're setting up the scene of y'all are basically going to come out of this cover with the, a ton of weaponry ready to go. So why doesn't everyone just go ahead and do their ranged combat check? We'll kind of tally how many successes and everything we've got, and we'll see if there's even anybody left standing when you come out of there.
Okay.
Because yeah, y'all definitely got the element of surprise here.
We're talking flat range combat roll, right?
There's still a -2 for darkness.
Okay. All right.
Oh.
But there is not the long.
Okay.
Hammer will be flat since he's got the smart gun.
I should stop laughing.
And I'll go ahead and do Shimyevsky. And Shimyevsky's at -2. Okay, let me survey. What do we have here? Looks like there's the mobility. So here's Dante's M5. So Dante, a lot of successes, but you do have a panic.
Yeah, actually, I didn't do the -2 on my first attempt. So I re-rolled. My re-roll is the second to the last roll. I got 2 successes, 2 panics. I'm going to roll my panic. It's a 9, so I'm going to drop another item. I'm leaving a breadcrumb trail, actually. So
Yeah, as long as the item isn't armed and explosive, it's okay. Like all this talk of your grenades and your rockets and stuff like that.
Yeah, and I could take another look at your sheet and see what else you can drop.
seriously, look at Hammer. Good Lord.
Dante, so you've already. I'm gonna remove the lamp from your sheet.
Mark, when you drop an item, you also gain a stress.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, I did it last time because I had read it. So I'll take the stress and make my roll here.
Cascading problems for Dante.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
No.
Oh my God. It's the rocket. So I've got the rocket launcher equipped. It requires reloading in between. I don't know how you want to play that out.
You know what? Hold on. I'm trying to process all this information that's coming in. I think in terms of what you're going to drop, I'm going to go with. So you're going to drop the same thing that I forgot to tell Silva she dropped. Because you remember at the end of the last one, you dropped an item, and I said I was going to tell you what it is. Your key tags fall away. And so Silva and Dante are both without their key tags now that help you get around the base. Dante's not as big of a deal because Dante's a private, so Dante didn't have much access anyways. But Silva actually had, decent access in there.
All right.
All right. So in terms of misses and successes, so let's see. Zimyevsky missed. Silva, you're good. Dante, you hit, though you've dropped an item, and Hammer's good. So I'm going to say anyone that missed, gets fired at. So Zimyevsky gets fired at as they become aware and exchange fire at you. Oh, I've already got it over here, don't I? Yes, I do. But the exchange fire does not hit. So y'all come blazing out of cover, right? And deliver just a ton of damage quickly. A couple of them do get shots back at you. Let's see Chaplain. What do you see happening? Like, how's this scene lay out in front of you? Why don't you give us your description of it?
Well, so you want me to just go on with both, like what happens to both groups, or?
Yeah, feel free to be narrative for a bit,
Okay.
And then I'll take over here in a moment.
Okay. So, we all deploy into cover and start trading fire with the what is it, the UPP forces? Is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. And we managed to sort of hit them in a flank. So they had like a group of our guys pinned down, and they were exchanging fire with them, and they were trying to flank them, and we hit them in a flank. And so they were, they have been trading fire on both sides now, but they've been kind of forced to retreat some, which gives our Marines some breathing room, and they start to regroup with us. So I think that's kind of what's happening right now.
And as that opening has been made, sorry, one thing I did notice, I think Mason, it looks like you need to do a panic roll as well. Looks like you got a face hugger on your roll. That is an 8. Oh, but you're -2, so you're 6, so you're good. So as the other, y'all open up a bit of a way for those other Marines to get out of cover and start making their way to you. You all start to feel the hairs on your arms and on the back of your neck kind of rise and tingle a bit. And there's this sudden arc of blue lightning reaching across the horizon of the skyline. And there is suddenly a massive burst that retraces its way back out from the center, and you hear everything shut down. Chaplain, you are overcome with a shock of electricity and will take an attack of 6 base dice. Let me roll that. And I don't think this is, I think this, I'm wondering if there's like a super armor piercing, because like, how is armor going to help you against an electronic?
I don't have any armor anyway, so.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I think you take 3 damage.
Ow!
And you hear all of your electronics die, including your pulse rifles. Recall that they're electronically accelerated.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, all the drop ships, the carriers and things that have been traveling through the sky go silent and just start listing. And you see them slowly falling from the sky. You look up and you turn, and there's one drifting and falling straight at you. Go ahead and make a mobility check as this thing is accelerating and coming faster and faster down into the area of the street where you're at.
So has this EMP or whatever, has this disabled Chaplain, or was it just the damage?
It's just an attack. Yeah, it's just damage.
Okay.
You're not disabled. Yeah.
I failed. I'm an
Yet. You're not disabled until that dropship lands on you.
Yeah.
And that will be somewhat disabling.
So we're all making mobility rolls?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, do it. Oh yeah. Whew. I will if possible, use a stunt to give a success to Silva. Oh wait, no, Silva got a success. Oh, you pushed it. That's right. Okay.
I pushed it.
That's right.
Yeah.
We can say, I mean, since
You wanna roll that
we're
back?
kind of going fast, like yeah, if you want to, since your first one didn't have anything with a panic or anything, then you can take the extra success for that one.
Maybe you drag me or something. Your synthetic strength. You just throw me out of the way.
I just toss you like a rag doll, heedless of your mortal weakness. Oh wait, I mean carefully, obviously.
All right, so Dante succeeds, panics, and holds it together, thankfully. Oh, I need to do mobility checks for Hammer and Jamievsky real quick.
Every time I see you roll a panic roll that's a 6, I think you're rolling your shooting die as a 6.
Yeah.
And then I panic. Then I fail my panic roll.
Hammer needs to make a panic check. 3, okay, keeps together. All right, so it looks like everyone did succeed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it's a good thing you got that success from Chaplin. So this thing comes crashing down, crashes right into the street, and erupts in a fireball. A wave, you feel the shock wave just barrel out. Just as you get behind cover, and you feel the force and the heat as it just erupts around you, but you make it out okay. And afterwards, there's just silence. The Marines sadly did not make it, the ones that were on their way to you. And it's just silent at that point. And then you see this large behemoth of a ship break the surface of the clouds above. You can't see the edges of it. You just see the underpinnings of it. It's the size of this colony. It's eclipsing the entire southern half of it. And you see a wisp of a tornado begin to form, of this black particle streaming out, spinning around in a cyclone shape as it descends and starts spreading over the colony. And you know, at the speed it's going to reach your place in moments. It's rapidly spreading.
What is the stuff that's coming out of the ship again?
From where you're at, it looks just like pitch black rain.
Oh, okay. And this ship doesn't look like anything we've seen before. This looks alien.
This has a whole nother look to it. Something ancient yet advanced. Yeah, this is something else.
Okay.
And I think that is where we will end for tonight.
Worst day ever.
And that is the end of Act 2 as well.
Sweet.
I just want to say I love the fresh smell of bioweapons in the morning.
Yes. All right. Well, we will go ahead and end our recording there. Thank you to anyone who has followed along, and we will be back next week with our next episode.
John, one thing I thought maybe since we're planning to extend this, if anybody's watching this, if they want to follow up watching it, where would they want to? Maybe they could watch it later, or are they out of luck?
Oh no, I'm still planning on recording the sessions. Sadly, Daniel will not be able to play with us, so we'll be continuing on our own. But I'm still going to record them and post them and to my channel, and I'll tag it in the Gauntlet and everything.
Okay, sweet.
All right, and with that, I will end.